to see what this thing got on some hill climbs.
So that was...
I'm chilling in the shade right now while my robot's cutting my grass.
I did not know that.
It's perfectly going where I showed it. It is cutting. You can see where it's at right now. It's up the hill.
Look how dirty this bad boy got. That thing put in a hard day at work. It got stuck in this mossy part right here, sliding down over. You can't really tell how steep that is because videos you can't tell. But I tell you what, this thing, look at that. It cut this whole backyard. And on top of that, when I mapped it out, I mapped it away from this house till I moved that garbage out there. But it cut the whole back. It came up this steep hill right here. You can't tell. I wish I had something to tell you how steep that is. This little pole right here, I don't know what it does. I have to look it up and I'll tell you what it is. Straight up this hill all the way to the top. Like I said, I didn't map it all the way over because I want to pick up some rock. It split right there where my neighbor's yard is, came all the way down, cut a perfect line down to that bottom half where there's more rocks that I need to pick up before I map it out. But I tell you what, that thing right there is crazy how accurate it is. Go get me a pop. I wouldn't know what to do without this bad boy. He's my best friend. Now I'm gonna show you the specs on this thing, just in case you don't know. I'm sure you've seen them somewhere else, but this is for the people that's in the oil field and the coal mines and works all day and don't have time to mow their grass. So I'm gonna show you some specs on this thing so you may understand a little bit. First off, when it's turned on, it's not gonna go anywhere. These wheels, they're like a hoverboard. They just stay in one spot. And when you turn it off,
power off.
It unlocks the wheels, and then you can free roll this bad boy, and it spins. The way these wheels are in the front, they spin sideways like this, so this bad boy can just like a forklift out there in the field. And here's another thing. These front wheels right here, if you can get in there right there, look at that. These bad boys got shocks. Dual action shocks right there. And look at these blades right here underneath of it. They're spinning around. They got razor blades on them. But I tell you what, when I first seen this, I thought that's going to be junk. That ain't going to work. I tell you, them razor blades, now they'll slice some things up. This thing raises up and down depending on the height that you want. Don't pressure wash it. It says it all over the place. Now, you don't want to be preppy and get the little brush and brush it off there. You just leave this bad boy dirty. Because I tell you what, it runs good. I'm going to go up this big hill right here.
How many yards can you cut with that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. You can program this thing to cut 50 yards. And you can also program this thing to go around stuff. If you have trees and picnic tables or whatever in your yard, this thing's smart enough to go around it. And it'll cut and go back and pick up the stuff that it missed. We're going to send this thing home.
Start recharge.
Now, if you want to, if you have one of them Alexa boxes in there, you can program this to your Alexa and say, hey, Alexa, go cut the grass. And this bad boy will go out and cut the grass. Or, okay, You can also program this thing to mow whenever you want. Like say you want to mow every Friday, but you don't want to mow during the day because you don't want your neighbors out there stealing this thing. If you live in a bad neighborhood, if you live in a good neighborhood, they're probably not going to do that. But I tell you what, once they see the progress of this thing, they'll probably be wanting one themselves. So you can program this thing to cut at 9 o'clock at night if you want, and it'll just cut on down. If you're like me, you work 12, 13-hour shifts or whatever, and you come home, you just don't feel like cutting the grass. But I don't do that anymore. I'm saying when I did do that, it sucks. I know how it feels. Them big hard labor jobs, you're never home. You ain't got time for that. This bad boy right here, it'll do the job for you. If you don't watch it, it'll even steal your wife. This thing does a lot of hard work out there. Another thing is, if you don't got a big wad to just put on down on something like this, you can do this with payments. You can use a firm and all that stuff you use to take vacations. You just put it on this bad boy, $50 a month or whatever it is. I don't know, whatever your credit is, I guess. I'm telling you, if you get one of these, you will love it. Everyone says that thing's junk, it ain't gonna cut my grass. I'm telling you right now, I live in West Virginia and I got some steep hills down here. And if you're wondering what these two dots are, I keep eyeballing. If you lift this thing up to check the blades or clean anything underneath of it, which I was doing just playing around with it, it'll ask you to touch these two dots together. And when you do that with your finger there, then it tells this thing it's back on its four wheels and ready to cut some more. If you want, you can make these robots work 20 hours a day. Another thing is, that yard, my whole side yard and this whole side yard, it estimates about 30 minutes to get the cut time done. And it starts at 100% battery, and this thing will run, I had it running for an hour and a half, and it was only down to 60% battery. So if you have a big yard, this thing will probably cut it. It only uses 40% battery for an hour and a half of work. So you gotta think, you factor that in. I'm not good at math, but if you factor that in, that's a lot of yard. And it will reach, as long as you got a clear sight and no trees in the way, then it will reach. You gotta get this little pole I showed earlier in the video. You set that pole up there. I didn't give a lot of description on that, but you'll see it in there. All you gotta do is shove it in the ground and plug it into the back of this bad boy right here, this charging station. If you wanna know anything else about this, well, you just let me know, and I'll try to answer as many comments as I can, but I am sure appreciative of the company that sent me this, and I'm going to show you the right name right here in case I mispronounce it. And that's the name, M-O-M-M-O-T-I-O-N. And I'll also put the website down there if it'll let me. And all you got to do is go to this website. You pick up one of these. This is the 5000 model, and I tell you what, you'll never regret it another day in your life.